Let me introduce ourselves. I won't do the talk on my own. I'm here with my colleague Pflaum, and we are both from the University of Applied Sciences in Hamburg. And my colleague Ellen, we both work on the project Hamburg Open Online University, and my colleague Ellen is the didactical and methodical consultant in the project. And me, myself, I'm Kopczynski, an old Polish name, that's why it's kind of complicated. I'm responsible for the media production and media support in this project. Yeah, and our topic today is, as you can see, reaching out and connecting learners via open education and the Hamburg Open Online University, which we will introduce to you in the next couple of minutes. The first question that might occur to you: what is the Hamburg Open Online University? Let me begin with a little story. It all began a couple of years ago when the first mayor of Hamburg, his name is Olaf Scholz, a few of you might know him. He's now in the media because of the G20 in Hamburg. He visited different universities in the United States and learned to know MOOCs, the massive open online courses, which he was quite fascinated by. He liked the idea of open education for every citizen, and decided to start a similar project in Hamburg that has to do with open education. So he brought all the important protagonists together. These were the presidents of all state universities in Hamburg, like the University of Hamburg, the University of Applied Sciences Hamburg, where we both come from, the University of Technology, the Art Academy, and so on. Together with our university's multimedia service office and the Hamburg Authority for Education. You can see all institutions that are involved in the project on this slide here. The question, when they came together, they asked themselves, what would it be like if tasks, problems, and projects could be handled with an interdisciplinary and multi-university approach? If, for example, subjects such as renewable energy and process technology, which is a typical subject taught at the Hamburg University of Technology, could be combined with the findings in biology of the University of Hamburg and graphical realizations by communication designers who study at the Hamburg University of Applied Sciences. Or even if there were to be projects at the interface between architecture, art, music, and medicine. These questions should be answered by the Hamburg Open Online University, and so the project came to life and started approximately in April 2015. As you might imagine, our most important challenge, but at the same time a great opportunity, is that for the first time in Hamburg's academic tradition, all universities work together towards a common vision, and that is free and open education for everyone. It is not only challenging because of a possible competition between the universities, but especially because of different academic traditions. But as I already mentioned, there lies a big opportunity in this kind of collaboration, and that is to bring people together. People with different national, academic, professional backgrounds. It is about connecting people and to help them to connect their specific knowledge in the best way. Against this background, we developed the HOOU, as we call it. It's the short form of Hamburg Open Online University. As we developed the HOOU brand together. Let's start with the most obvious of these 4 points of the brand, and this is the academic level. Our goal is to offer open education. We want to help people solve their problems and get an appropriate answer to their questions. Still, we are members of universities, and any content that is produced by us is supposed to be and expected to be on an academic level. What leads us to the next point, and this is important for society and new target groups. On one hand, we seek an academic level as a standard, but on the other hand, we want at best everybody to understand our content. Maybe this might sound conflicting to you, but however, this is why we choose topics, questions, and problems that are relevant to society, and we try to prepare the content in a way that others can understand it and are interested in it. As you might imagine, this can be a great, or can be a challenging goal, but as we will see further on, you will see further on how we meet those challenges. The next point of the brand, which is also mentioned in the project's name, is openness. That is why all content that you will find on the platform, which is not quite ready yet, but will be in September, are open educational resources. All media, all material, and so on lies under a Creative Commons license. Learners that are interested are invited not only to use the content, but also change it, customize it, and after all, publish their own versions of it, or their own material. And finally, we want the learners to get connected and collaborate with each other, and therefore at best learn from each other. How can we reach that? How do people usually learn? My colleague Ellen will continue with this question.
So you just heard that we have a great vision. We are backed by the mayor of Hamburg. We have the political and financial background to develop our vision of Hamburg Open Online University. And so we had the chance to use a design-based approach to develop our product, which means that we do not make a complete and finished plan of how the platform and how the products are supposed to look like in the end, but we have the chance to develop it step by step and allow participation of the people who are supposed to learn with it. And this is why we start with the learner in the center of anything we develop. So we asked ourselves, how do people usually learn? So imagine you have a problem you want to solve outside the university or the school, where you're often supposed to just write some tests and prove that you have learned a lot. But in practice and in real life, you don't learn like that. You have a problem you want to solve, you get a task from your employer that you are supposed to solve. And then usually what do? Who's your best friend when you have to learn and solve problems in your business life? Google. So usually you do not go to a lesson, or you do not read an entire book. You Google it, or you go to Wikipedia. You ask on Facebook if anyone has ever solved your problem before. You ask a colleague, informal learning processes. Google, I already said it. You search at answers.com if anyone else has already solved your problem before. You read an article, not an entire book, but you search for the specific words, the keywords you are searching for, and then you just read small parts of it. Or you watch a tutorial on YouTube. Of course, there are many very good learning videos available on the internet. So this is how you usually learn in your everyday life. So this means, to summarize it, that you, of course, you search for documents, you read text, or you discuss your problem with others, or you watch videos. So it's not that you do everything like in a prepared course at school. You decide on your own what to consume or where to collaborate, to participate actively and cooperate with others. So what if a learning platform was supporting this behavior? This is the question we started with when we developed our learning platform, and this is the question we always have in mind when we develop the content for this platform. So we want to offer learning artifacts like text, videos, anything you can learn with, but we also want to give the people the opportunity to cooperate with each other and to work on the content, to discuss the content, to develop the content that we offer on our platform. And therefore, I will present you our approach, how we see this connected learning on the World Wide Web, and how we see our platform that is, it's still in progress, but it will be published in September. So first of all, you have a producer. This is quite normal. You always have a producer of content in learning context. There's a teacher, a lecturer, a professor who prepares the text, who prepares a presentation, and he offers this to the audience, the students, or the user on the internet. So you have the content, and usually, this is the point, usually this content is closed. When you have printed a book, you cannot change it anymore. You are supposed to consume it like it is. If you have articles on the web as PDF, you are not supposed to change them anymore, and it's the same for videos and anything else. And this makes the difference for our approach. Our content is still open to changes, to remixes, to be enhanced, to that people are allowed to delete something from the content. So this content is there for interaction. It's not just a finished product and nobody's allowed to change it anymore, but it's a product that wants the users to interact. And so the learner can simply consume the content, reading, watching, whatever he wants with it, but he can also decide to contribute again to the content and to work together with other people on it. So suddenly you have content and you add it to a new project. You develop further questions that you want to learn on. And for us, this is where the magic happens, when you bring many different learners, producers, co-producers, co-learners together, and they switch their roles from, there's not just a teacher, a sage teacher, but there are also sage learners that can contribute their expertise to the learning content. And this is the magic, that you develop new learning outcomes that would not have been possible without this interaction. For example, if you want to clean the oceans from waste, you do not only need one discipline, but you need many different disciplines to contribute. And everyone who's involved in this project has his or her own expertise on it, and that he can contribute to it. Yeah, and this is how we work. We have some project, and I think you can just explain some of them.
Yeah, there were altogether over 60 content projects we focused on in the last 2 years from all the universities of Hamburg and their different disciplines. And we picked out some of them just to show you the broad range of topics that are treated in the Hamburg Open Online University. Here's the first one. This is the future of fashion. It is about environmental issues, consumer behavior, and technical developments concerning the production of clothing. The basis of this learning arrangement is a video documentation that offers the learners a closer look on the topic. And among others, this learning arrangement consists of tasks concerning the learner's own closet. The learner is asked, for instance, look at your own clothes. How old are they? How much did you pay for it? How often do you wear it? And so on. So that everybody can reflect on his own or her own consumer behavior. Another one, for example, is educational boxes. It's about social relations and networks, diversity, inclusion, conflict, and conflict management. The target audience of this learning arrangement is not the learner in particular, but teachers who teach the subject and are in need of material or have their own material to share. So these edu boxes, as we call them, are like public boxes. Everybody can take from it material like videos, animations, quizzes, tasks, papers, session plans, and put their own versions back to it. So it's like a sharing box where everybody can share material, especially teachers who teach on these subjects. Another one is the Tide Elbe complex project. It deals more with local issues, I would say. It discusses the ecological and economical contexts of estuary area in Hamburg, of the river Elbe. But surely not only people from Hamburg can learn from it. The basis of this learning arrangement, or kind of a gimmick you could say, is an interactive map. You can see the map here. You can find special points of interest there, videos with protagonists of the Hamburg Port Authority and nature protection, videos made by students who live in the areas and give their own look on the problems there. Also quizzes and a simulation game. And so in this case you can learn playfully which decisions that are made by you in the role of a stakeholder, for instance, have certain consequences on the economy or the environment and so on. And another example is sustainable energy for small island developing states, which is also a classic MOOC, a massive online open course. The course offers an interdisciplinary perspective on sustainable energy production and use in the small island developing states. It introduces the learner to a broad spectrum of energy, but also policy-related topics, energy efficiency, energy management, appropriate renewable energy technologies, and the relevant policies. And it invites you to discuss and share ideas, opinions, and knowledge with learners from all over the world. And it finally seeks to inspire the learner to self-develop a small solution for promoting sustainable energy in small island developing states. So at best, the learner is able, at the end of the course, to be able to write a proposal for a project, a project for sustainable energy. Until January this year, over 1,750 learners were part of this online course, and over 50% were from small islands. Okay, I will skip on this one.
So I will just quickly finish our presentation. The question, you have seen some of our ideas for the platform and for the content we will provide. But the question is, are we openness ready? We have many lecturers who are used to teach only in classrooms, and suddenly you put your material on the World Wide Web, and it can be changed, and it can be shared, it can be printed, you can do anything with it. It's a tough challenge for the people who are involved in this project, and so we have 3 big parts where we work on currently. The first one is, of course, the open in our course, open educational resources, using Creative Commons, allowing people to show them how it feels to offer free materials. Of course, we have the infrastructure so that we have nice, visual and easy to use platforms and tools for our professors. And the last one is digital qualification. What we are working on very much is to give lecturers the opportunity to learn how to use tools, how to apply media didactics, and how to use all the legal aspects, which is quite important. So if you have questions, we are still here, even in the break, and we could also show you some of our projects on our tablets if you are interested in. And if you have questions, don't hesitate. Thank you.